Whose dice are we using? Using
I
Bill's
was
dice?
just
uses two basic dice.
I was just going to use factory dice, yeah. I'm looking at
Raid Shadow Legend.
Yeah. Test, test, test. Yeah. Test, test, test. All right.
nice.
We got sound.
Oh, wait.
Wow!
Dude, warning, Dave, warning.
Like roaches when you turn the light on. Watch us.
Yeah, it was like roaches. I wonder if Bessy just decided not to come. I don't know if Bessy just decided not to come today. Oh, there she is. Look at this. Look at this silliness that we got going on here tonight, boys and girls. How awesome is that? I see an E.S. Taylor. I see Clyde Dashing. I see Brian G. I see Damian Larson is on here. How awesome is that? Yeah, I'm going to go get them. I'll go get them. I'll be back. I'm going to be back in just a moment. I'm going to go get my glasses. Your hat's over there, sweetheart.
Thank you.
There's Rob. There's Josh. You guys remember Josh? There's Bill. There's Jimmy, a.k.a. the Bubba Check. Y'all may refer to him as the Bubba Check, and I don't want any like he's not just a Bubba Check. That's something that people get confused with a lot. He's not just any old Bubba Check. He is the Bubba Check. And joining me tonight, we have the world's most dangerous Bessy on the main stage.
I don't think so.
Oh, Thunderbolt,
stage
and
at
it's
best.
awesome. So, yeah, we are getting set up to play some Battletech. I have not played this game in probably 30 years. Is that pretty close? Yeah. Like,
Just a quick math.
yeah, probably 30 years since I.
30's a nice round number.
Yeah, nice round number. So yeah, that's did we start off and we were talking about this earlier that we think that we actually started playing Battletech first and then we eventually did Battletech come out before Warhammer 40K? Like Rogue?
I don't think so.
Rogue Trader? No.
Battletech was 86.
I think so, yeah.
And I think Rogue Trader came out like 87 or 88.
Okay.
I'm not going to swear to those numbers.
Somewhere in there.
No, you're swearing to him. We're writing it down.
Yeah.
I mean, we can look it up, but I mean, that's
Yeah.
a lot of work. And I don't care enough to find out.
I mean, it's on the YouTube.
Battletech was 84.
Battletech
Battle Droids was 84.
Battle Droids. So that really was the first version of Battletech that I got was the box set called. It was a box set. Yeah, it was a box set. I'm pretty sure called Battle Droids. And then, supposedly, and I don't know that they were actually sued or they were just threatened or they just preemptively decided to change.
It was the biggest goal
No,
it was Harmony Gold.
No, Lucasfilm was going to string them over the droid's name.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be copyright that, yeah. But that's all that changed.
Yeah.
Harmony Gold's the whole,
Yeah.
that whole. Less said the better about that.
Stop.
Anywho, so I think we actually started playing Battletech first, or Battle Droids.
I started playing Battletech first.
Yeah. And then eventually kind of got into Warhammer 40K. And I think even before that, we ended up with the Warhammer Fantasy box set. Really, really old box set of it. So old that like the toughness value was in letters. So that's very, very old Warhammer. So, like for example, orcs, some orcs had a toughness of D or something like that. So, very cool. Good old stuff, though. But eventually, we got into Warhammer 40K. So this is going back a ways. This is. Do you remember getting started in this 30 years ago?
Sure.
Yeah. She was right there at the beginning. She was right there.
Right there.
Right
Number
there.
one.
Right there. So it's kind of cool. Now, of course, Josh and Bill and Jimmy have played BattleTech quite a bit through the years. There was a time when this was a really big game for us that we played this like multiple times a week. It was the game. It was the game that we played just over and over again. And then I guess Warhammer 40K kind of jumped in there at some point and kind of took over. Was that the transition, you think? Or did we do Fantasy Battle, or you remember?
40K, Rogue Trader first, and then I think Fantasy Battles was maybe seconded when we really started playing.
It was almost like we were more into 40K first. But anyway, we're going to record this game, and
Are you recording it live?
no, we're not going to record this live. We're going to do our normal little live video with y'all here, and then we'll shut off the live, and then we're going to actually play a game of BattleTech, and then we'll record that and post it for y'all to kind of see the silliness. So I guess the question is there any interest in that sort of thing? Do y'all want to see that sort of stuff, or would you just rather see us do Pulp Alley stuff? Because there's probably plenty of places on the interwebs where you could see BattleTech played. I don't know. I haven't actually looked for that. But there's a lot of BattleTech channels and yeah. And of course, there's a lot with 40K and I don't, whatever other games too. But pretty cool. What Bright G have to say there? B-Tech was my first miniatures with my own money all those decades ago. Yep. Wanted to get into BattleTech, but never liked the miniatures until Catalyst took over. What is Catalyst? What's Catalyst?
That's the current owner of the IP.
Okay.
Yeah, Catalyst Game Labs is who's making everything.
Okay, it's not Facet anymore.
No.
Okay.
No, it hasn't
Okay.
been Facet for like 2 companies now.
Facet kind of doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. Damien says, I like BattleTech. I'll send you some BattleTech miniatures to paint up, which brings us to the lovely miniatures that Bill brought over for us to use this evening. Check these out. He is just turning into a super snazzy painter. Look at these.
Super snazzy.
I think that looks really cool. That's a cool looking mech. Is that cool? Jimmy, you're wanting to say something. What is it?
Yeah, he's all puffed up.
Bill, do you hear what he's saying? Huh?
Yep, that's
All right. Over here, and look over here. Look at what he's got. How awesome. Boy, it's been a long time. So, I can barely recognize any of these. I looked at these and I said, oh, look, there's a little locust. A little Valkyrie, or maybe a wasp. I really can't tell the difference anymore. I saw there was a rifleman in here. Look at that. That looks like a rifleman. Over here, there's a Warhammer. Those are all the figures in a Marauder. I remember those. But a lot of these, I wouldn't really know what they were. Some of them look kind of funny. Look at this one with its big head poking up with 2 trash cans. Kind of reminds me of like an archer, but not nearly as cool looking. He's firing off trash cans. Let's see. I did have a rules question that I thought was worth answering. So switch gears real quick and talk about some Pulp Alley stuff. Andy Neal said they played a couple games with bursts and found them to be extremely effective against gangs. Yes, bursts do work really well against low-level stuff. They work fairly decent against allies, followers, gangs. That's really burst's sweet spot. They don't work so hot against leaders and sidekicks. But anyway, he says, as an action, we assume that the nearest target rule for fights did not apply, and Andy is 100% correct. So placing a burst is a special attack. It is not a shooting attack. So you're not actually resolving it as a shootout. So you can really just place the burst where you want it to be as long as it's within your range and within your line of sight. So he is 100% correct. You do not have to worry about who is the nearest target. The other part of the question they had here is we did also do a cover save to any hits that were inflicted by failing the challenge. So they applied cover saves to the bursts, and no, that is not correct. So we don't apply cover saves to any perils, and that's what a burst is. A burst creates a peril, and you don't normally get a cover save from a peril. And this is one that, you think back years and years ago, Bill and Josh and Bubachek were all part of the Pulp Alley playtest team from well over 10 years ago. These are the original guinea pigs who suffered through many a rules change. So much pain I put them through. Now, the moment I mention, they almost get a gag reflex and they start running towards the door. But these are the folks that were so good to play test, and then I'd come back the next week and I would have brand new rules because of what they did from the previous week, right? They went, oh, this is a really cool ability. Look what I can do with this one.
Oh, let me change that first.
Oh, you think so, Bill? Here's the anti-Bill rule. And here's the anti-Josh rule. I know. So they discovered lots of really cool ways to exploit Pulp Alley, so you didn't get to. So they were the folks that took one for the team. So bless their hearts. Really, really do appreciate all of the pain and suffering that they went through. Anyway, what I was getting to there was that we actually play tested that sort of stuff a lot, and it could have been really easy for us to say, yes, perils give you a cover save. It was one of those things that you kind of had to weigh all of the different things that bursts do against all of the different things that a normal shootout do. And in the end, we just decided, you know what? Bursts, they just put that big blast out there. So, it's like you don't get your cover save for that sort of thing because they're just throwing out so many bullets and stuff. So, no, you do not get a cover save for bursts. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
So what's the verdict on other games? Do you guys want to see us play other games? Do you think that would be fun to see once in a while? Or do you think we ought to stick to some Pulp Alley? He tries to change a rule every now and then. Bessy keeps him straight. I try to still, even to this day, I try to pencil rules in. But she's right there with the eraser. She keeps me honest. She makes me actually play by the rules I wrote, which I don't know who wrote that stuff.
Masochist.
I've been looking for an RPG group. Yeah, it sucks. I've been looking for an RPG group. It has been many years since I have played. Well, maybe we need to do some RPG. Maybe we need to. I think they do some online, don't they? Like on the Twitch or something. Or is that still a thing?
Yeah, oh yeah, people still do that.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. Does it work like our Sunday game, maybe, where you just.
No, I think they're a little more professional.
Oh!
We are. I'm not you.
We have a tendency to chase rabbits.
You mean like, well, no, but they're not all like that. What?
His favorite ones are all voice actors.
Yeah.
I watch a couple.
Like, which ones do you watch?
Well, Critical Role is the
Yeah,
DVD,
that's like the
but
big one. That's the one I was trying to think of, but I don't
it's just
couldn't
more
really
like
think of.
theater, really.
Right. And to some extent, almost scripted too, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some arguments for that, I guess.
So,
What?
get that out of my face.
What?
But there's different styles of gameplay that work. So
Yeah, but they're not all like Critical Role.
no.
Right, because I watched some. There was one that does like Call of Cthulhu, and I couldn't watch it. It was like it was so cringy. It was like, ew, I don't want to watch this. I feel dirty. But there are some of them that do really good. Like that's pretty high end there. You'd have to say. What was another one? Critical Role and
Penny Arcade did theirs.
okay.
Like Chaosium, they run the Call of Cthulhu stuff.
Yep. Very cool. Manny Marino, what's he got to say?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely other games, good source of inspiration, he says. Very cool. Manny Marino received. Manny, I apologize for not replying to you. Things got kind of off track around the old Casa Pulp Alley
What?
here. COVID ruined my last RPG. Yeah.
People twitching is still a thing.
People twitching. Yeah. I have thought about doing some twitching, but I don't know. I pretty much have to stick to what I know because I'm not smart enough to figure new stuff out. So I kind of have to just keep doing what I know.
Good old Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, Facebook and YouTube. When those die, I will as well. I did D&D over Zoom a few years ago. Yeah, Zoom is interesting. Zoom could be usable. So the big thing with Zoom and the reason why we don't use Zoom for our lives is we actually stream in high resolution 1080. But to be able to do that on Zoom, it would cost us $200 a month because that's the level of account that you have to stream live in high res. So
And unfortunately, your OnlyFans doesn't pay
my
that amount.
OnlyFans does not cover that.
It's gotta be out there somewhere.
Save yourself the
So-
heartache. Let it go.
There's a market for it.
So, for both of you that are subscribers to my OnlyFans, I am releasing a new calendar of me wearing different socks. So
That is,
I'm not going to say
That is
any more
chilling.
because of course, could get a shadow banned again. So.
stop.
Agree. What was it? What was she agreeing? What didn't they say? Fun to watch. You guys should do a session of Paranoia. That would be fun. So like an RPG would be fun. So I did finally get my new box set of Pendragon. Remember Pendragon, Jimmy? Yeah. That was a lot of
That's
fun.
one of those games we made characters for a long time ago and never played.
Oh, really? That for him? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, making characters and then not playing them. Yeah.
Or playing them
Oh, well, we did a pretty good Pendragon Pass. So we ran a fairly long Pendragon campaign, but it was set in the world of Glorantha, which is normally the setting for RuneQuest. But I actually like the Pendragon rules better than RuneQuest. And mind you, I think very highly of the RuneQuest rules. I think they are smart rules and they're good. But I think Pendragon was even better. And the thing is that Greg Stafford, the fellow that did Pendragon, I think he took advantage of that knowledge, right? He looked back and he looked at what D&D was doing. He looked at RuneQuest. And he tried to really think about let's make it even better. Let's take it up a notch and find even a better way to do things. And I think he did. So I am a real fan of the Pendragon system. If I ran an RPG, that might be the one that I would kind of dig out and try and do something with because I really like the rules. It's just a smart set of rules. You will need to have table mix so we can hear everyone. Is Vern on? I think Vern is going to be playing this Sunday. I don't know if that's what you meant, but I haven't seen Vern's name up there this evening. Making characters and never playing them is a good pastime. Is that how it's spelled? No, it's Pen. Pendragon. Yeah, yeah. Not Pin, but Pen. We've been playing Oathmark a bit, and it's fun. Is Oathmark a role playing game? I always thought Oathmark was a skirmish game or something. Oathmark. It's one of the Osprey games, if I remember right. I could be wrong. What's DW? You brought it up, so you have to tell us about it now. I thought it was a rank and flank game. How about Space 1889? Oh, I like Space 1889. What are you doing over there? Are you chatting?
It'd be political. I don't want to get into it.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. We don't do
Oathmark's
that.
an Osprey game.
What is?
Oathmark.
Oathmark is an Osprey. Yeah. It's like Warhammer Fantasy, only better.
It's probably miniatures ambiguous, so you can like bring your own miniatures to play the full set.
Okay. I've seen some of the figures that they've done for it. I have some of them, some of the skeletons, rank and file units. Okay. All right. So definitely not a role playing game. More of a, how about a pulp role playing game? That would be fun. Chewbacca says, how about a pulp RPG? I've oftentimes thought about that as well. I've oftentimes thought about, yeah, Clyde Dashing said it, doing a role playing game for the Pulp Alley setting. I think that would be fun. I don't know. I don't know. It wouldn't be that hard to do either. It seems like it's an easy conversion. It's just basically finding the time to fit it in with all the other things that I'm not getting done. So it would just be one more thing to add to the list of things that I'm not doing. I thought that's what the campaigns were. Savage Worlds is a good RPG. And Savage Worlds is just Dungeons and Dragons, isn't it? How is it different than, isn't it just a D&D variant? Savage Worlds? No?
I thought it was more of a system.
Yeah, it's more of a system, generic. You can apply it to a lot of different settings.
Sure, but the rules themselves are just D&D, right?
No.
They don't. You don't have levels. You don't roll.
Like Deadlands, kind of.
Deadlands
Part of that.
It's more like Deadlands. Do you use cards in it?
In the Deadlands rules, yes, but I
Yeah.
don't think you're doing the standard. Savage Worlds, like from what I understand, is like GURPS. It's a generic system, and then they just throw in a bunch of different campaigns. So, like they've got that
Okay.
one, they've got
Okay. I always thought it was. I always thought it was just D&D-ish. Oh, he says they butchered Deadlands to make Savage World. So we used to do a lot of Deadlands. Is that the system that they're talking about there? Right? Bobby used to run a lot of Deadlands for us. Does anybody else run any Deadlands or played any Deadlands other than when we played with Bobby? That was it. Okay. So what happened to Bobby? Is he back in town?
He's in
Oh,
town.
yeah, we have.
He works at the police station as IT.
Very cool.
We tried to get him to come over, even just to say hi, but.
Huh. Bobby, what's up with that? What's
Yeah,
up
call
with
him
that?
out.
How come you're not here?
I think he was the one that asked my sister if you.
Oh, it was that Bobby.
I think so.
You ought to come over.
I'm sure he's watching.
I'm sure he is. I think he's probably using one of these aliases. This DW Low Cat seems kind of fishy to me.
Yeah, I agree. Suspicious.
Mm-hmm. Revised Deadlands uses Savage World. Okay. Ran old Deadlands. Don't like the new edition. Well, all right. Well, strike it from the conversation then.
It's stricken.
Ptolemachus says he is not Bobby. That seems rather suspicious. Methinks he does. How does that go?
Protest too much.
Protest too much.
Okay, settle down, Sparky.
Same here, DW Low says. Not to Bobby either. Nay, I don't know. I don't know. Don't use the new Savage Worlds either. Okay. All right. So poor Savage World's getting savaged on here. Who's up for some Pendragon? Who's up for some Battletech? We're going to Battletech it tonight. So I guess we better wrap this up. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, make sure you get subscribed to our silly little channel here because we have no idea what we're doing. So we need your help. Pulp Cthulhu would be cool. Yes, I actually have the Chaosium Pulp Cthulhu. Yeah, I didn't really get it, but I thought it was cool to look at. I get a lot of stuff like that. You know, you buy something because you think it's going to be cool, and then you go, "Oh, this will look good on my shelf now." You're live on Oh yes, Clyde Dashing. Thank you so much for reminding me to mention that. So we're going to be live on Sunday at Battle Bunker HQ. That's not going to be, or of course, we are doing our live game on Sunday at the normally scheduled time, 10 a.m.
Sure.
Something like that, Central Time. So we do that every Sunday. But then at 2:00 Central Time, we're also going to join Lee and Melanie at Battle Bunker HQ on their channel, and we're going to blather about stuff. Bessie's going to be there. We're going to
I
talk about.
probably won't
We're going to talk about things, how to change the oil in a 57 Chevy, stuff like that. So if you have a 57 Chevy that needs an oil change, Bessie will be there to explain it to you. And honestly, it's not as hard as you think.
Gouda.
What
my
is your
favorite
favorite cheese?
Gouda.
I'm not really a big cheese fan, but I have been getting this. There's a. I don't want to.
It's an aged cheese.
I have been getting this
He thinks he's
aged
fancy.
cheese. It's got to be, any cheese I eat has to be aged at least 12 months. And it's like eating mummified
Sock cheese.
sock cheese because it just crumbles in your mouth.
Truly
And it
appetizing.
smells like really,
Ass.
really bad ass. Unwashed ass that had been kept in a shoe for too long.
12 months, in fact. It says so on the label.
12-month ass.
Okay, we're gonna be done.
Okay, well, we're going to stop on that point then. Bessie?
No, I'm already up. I'm already up.
Bessie, you got to play us out of here.
You do it.
Da 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 da.
Okay, we're done.